happened to baby boomers? Baby boomers are people born post-World War II boom from 1945 to 1960. Now, these people had access to the most stable economy in the history of Western mankind. And it was also a time of extreme anti-family values. Extremely progressive. So the entire family traditions washed away down the sink, and it's all about the holy trinity of sex, wine, and song. And so people who were born in that era, a lot of them, not all of them, they became obsessed with worshipping rock stars. Now, these rock stars, like David Bowie, he was a nobody until the 1969 Apollo moon landing, which is ironic because Apollo is just what the 60s needed. They did not need Dionysius. And it's very fascinating, like Jim Morrison, his father literally started the false flag operation, the start of the Vietnam War, which was just nothing but a culling of people. And USA lost that war. They're so good at war, all that money in the world, all that fiat currency from Israel, what do? They lost that war. But what happened is, the ripple effect to people now, to millennials, and now to Gen Z, is that never has there been a time in history when baby boomers, or any age group, had access to all, stop that, go away. Majority of the world's resources. If you study economic trends in history, there's always been a trickle down of wealth. Never, ever, ever in history, and never will there be a time again in the future, where people at the age of 65 now still have the vast majority of the wealth, over 57% in the United States. And that is unethical, and there's a reason why it's never happened before in history. It's because United States, Australia, Canada, UK, all these English colonies, they only became rich is because they are part of the military-industrial complex of the United States, whereby they forced every country in the world to use Israel's fiat currency system. It's a fake money printing system, off the gold standard by Nixon in the early 70s. But what I'm focusing on today is the fact that you may question the morality compass system of boomers and why they're so incredibly selfish. It's because they were encouraged to idolize these sociopathic celebrities, these rock stars who are just pure filth. All they care about is objectifying women, teenage girls, just penetrating their orifices and then never seeing them again, promising them hope and manipulating them with a sense of hierarchy. So these rock stars, they were pushed on the radio airplay. David Bowie, he was only made famous because his song was about the moon landing, which was fake. He was a terrible man. He went after his friends' girlfriends. He got punched in the face because of it. That's why he got a dodgy eye. And so you may wonder why they're so ethically devoid and so incredibly greedy, which is one of the 10 Commandments. It's advice that you should probably avoid that because historically, when people have too much money, like they hoard resources, it's usually in the instinct to want to redistribute, not just go on cruise ships and just drink incredibly large amounts of Sauvignon Blanc and really, really lowbrow cheese platters and lots of prostitutes and materialistic possessions. And so I will finish this video by just reminding people that be very wary of who you idolize, who you place as a demigod in your brain. Because as Noam Chomsky said, we have the neuro-linguistic programming in our hardwire of our brain whereby we need to have idols, we need gods, we need to worship. And to me, it seems quite practical that Jesus Christ is the best example of someone to look up to and just someone to imitate in terms of his value system. And there's lots of other stories as well. You know, you can take a bit out of Hindu, you can take a little bit out of the Greek gods have a lot to offer as well. But just remember, like Taylor Swift, all these people, they are really, really soulless people, and they're only made famous because they want you to worship them, because they're not that bright, they're not that loving, and they're not that empathetic, and they're part of the establishment, they're part of the machine. And so when you have a problem with boomers, it's because they worship false idols. They try to be rock stars, but without the talent. So what is this? What is a rock star without talent? They haven't made music. They haven't got any money. They haven't traveled the world. They're not dealing with objectifying women every day. You know, they're not dealing with all the temptation and all these celebrities and press conferences. If you strip away a rock star, all of the talent and all of the actual work, what have you got? You got a sad man who's just trying to be cool all the time. He's not trying to be a father. He's not trying to be proper. He's not trying to be part of the community. He's just being a slave to his desires. He just wants to objectify women, get drunk, and worship rock stars, other rock stars, and talk about music. But they won't actually create it. So to me, it doesn't make any sense to try and be a rock star without actually putting the work in. You can't have your cake and not eat it too, you know? If you want to act like a rock star, be a musician, go to concerts, work, have talent. You can't act like a rock star unless you want to put in the work. And so, end of the day, it all comes down to having good role models. Peace.